Good evening, folks, and welcome to a brand new series that I am starting in concert with www.helisimmer.com. This series is entitled Purple Hat Tours, and the objective behind it is to show you new and discovered payware sceneries that I intend to review for the viewing audience. And also the accompanying article will go into some other details that I may or may not mention in this video. Now, to start with, we are out here in California. We are pretty close to San Francisco at a brand new airport called Half Moon Bay. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about it, but first I want to kind of show off my hangar here really quick. As you can see, I've already got a poster put up over my desk there. You probably recognize that if you are a watcher of my FSX series. And I'm just kind of cruising around here trying to take the place in. I still have some boxes here that I need to unpack. I need to get some locks for that locker, and I should probably move my toolbox in somewhat. Alright, the lights are also looking pretty good up there. So yeah, this is Half Moon Bay, and I'm going to be going into a lot of detail about this airport, about its construction, about the actual payware scenery itself. But first, I do need to give some special thanks to both Future Game Shop and the scenery developer Rising Dawn Studios for the review copy of this airport. Alright, so let's get started, and I am going to tell you all about this airport and the scenery that is available as payware on sites like Future Game Shop and, of course, at the actual xplane.org store site. So as soon as that aircraft goes by and we have some more silence, I'll get started on telling you more about the airport. So this is Half Moon Bay by Rising Dawn Studios. This is their first airport that they've created, and as you can see, they've got a number of highlights that are included as part of this airport. They've really gone above and beyond to showcase what they can do development-wise with this scenery. As part of our look at Half Moon Bay, I'll be flying the Belicopter 2 by Dreamfoil Creations, which is of course the Bell 407 modified for my usage. First off, though, we're going to need to get it out of the hangar since we're on skids and not on wheels. So we've got the nifty little cart here that we're going to jack up under the skids, and we're going to pull it out of Hangar 58 and over to a part of the airport that I'm commandeering for use as a helipad. I might add, Hangar 58 is considered your hangar and is the default starting location whenever you load up this airport. There is no designated helipad at this airport, but you'll see when I bring it over to the area that I'm thinking of that it will perform perfectly for our uses today. Now, it is going to take me a little while to get over there, so I'm going to cut to the customization options of this Hangar 58, so that way I can show you how to do so. Another major selling point for this airport are the customization options. For instance, Hangar 58, your personal hangar, you can opt to change the paint trim on the walls. I actually took Professional Blue and modified it. It's now called Professional Purple. In addition to redecorating the trim, you can also tell it what kind of lights you want the hangar to have. You could either choose the incandescent bulbs or you could choose the neon tubes. I'm a fan of the old incandescent bulbs, so I opted to use that in my hangar. This is the part where I go, but wait, there's more. You could opt to either have a clean hangar or you can opt to have a dirty hangar. My philosophy is a clean hangar is a happy hangar, so I would rather have that. And then the pièce de résistance. No doubt you've already seen the poster above the desk. You can modify that. They give you 9 default options, including the Rising Dawn Studios logo as well as the American flag, or you can do what I did and make your own picture. For example, I made Valkyrie from my FSX series. To the best of my knowledge, Rising Dawn Studios so far are one of the first scenery designers to ever give us a place that we could actually call home. And I did mention before that while there are no designated helipads, we're just going to commandeer this spot because it looks like it's just the right size for a Bell 407. I might add there seems to be an awful lot of Piaggio Avantis in this area. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. However, you can add or subtract static aircraft from this scenery as well if you find that the static aircraft are hitting your FPS a little too heavily. Okay, so I think I have this thing placed where I want it. So we'll go ahead and lower the jack. There we go. There we go. Alright, now it's down. Okay, we'll get rid of the little ground cart. And we'll hop inside the helicopter and get her started. But first, to give you a brief overview of where we'll be visiting, we're going to be looking at the industrial area of Princeton, the Pacifica Hotel, which is actually now called the Oceano Hotel and Spa, Pillar Point Harbor, Pillar Ridge, which is a mobile home community, and the Pillar Point Air Force Station. And my co-pilot for the day,
tie downs and caps.
Bitchin Betty. Okay, so let's see if we can get everything set up here. First off, we're going to need to get rid of the tie downs and caps. There we go. Betty approves.
Remove.
Betty approves.
Seat belts.
Okay.
Secure.
Now, of course, it's going to take
Altimeter.
me a little while to get through the entire procedure here. So let me just set our altimeter to 29.902. And I'm going to cut through a lot of the checklist because you've already heard all this stuff before. And
set to field elevation.
Thank you, Betty. And I will be back once we've got everything ready to fly. Alright, transponder, we'll need to turn you to on. There we go.
On.
Okay, landing lights, we'll flip you on.
As required. Instrument lights.
Instrument lights are
As
already
required.
on.
Air conditioning and cabin heat.
We're not going to set the
As
air
required.
conditioning.
Caution and warning panel.
Caution and warning lights, we've got one light still on, but that's
All
okay, I
considered.
can deal with it.
Doors and windows.
Doors and windows are closed, so we are good to go there. Click that.
Closed and locked. Pre-takeoff check.
I want you to listen to this part.
Bel Geode. Remember, aviate, navigate, communicate.
That is so cool. That was given to me by one of my viewers, RedTailPilot. So huge shout out to RedTailPilot for that little addition to the checklist. One of the cool little features of this airport is the reflectivity of the ground textures. So as the sun sets, you may have caught it when I was towing the helicopter around, that the light reflected properly off the asphalt. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see that also with the lights shining from the helicopter and so on. Alright, let me take you around the airport here, and I think I'm going to start with what I consider to be the centerpiece of the airport. Not our personal hangar, mind you, but the little cafe over here known as the 30 Cafe. Now you might think, what makes this cafe so special, aside from being a place where you might want to come to get a $100 hamburger? Well, another key feature of the 30 Cafe, aside from the ambient occlusion, is the fact that the cafe looks different in the day or the night. In the nighttime, the blinds all come down, the sign flips over to say that they're closed, and even the animated neon sign says it's closed. And folks, before we take off and make the rounds of Half Moon Bay, I gotta give a special shout out to my buddy Sergio from Helisimmer, who created that nifty little redhead with the purple hat. So my purple hat redhead is now my official mascot for Belicopter 2. Okay, so with that having been done, let's go ahead and check out some of the other major features of this airport. The first thing that I'm going to call your attention to is the grass. Now, the way that they did the grass, they realized that people's computers tend to be better or worse as the case may be. Well, having taken that into consideration, you have customizable density for this grass. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set it down and show you what I've currently got set up here for my grass. And right here should be good. Come on, baby, slow down, slow down. Ah, there we go. Up, a little bit of a bounce. Sorry about that. Okay, so with a customizable density, you have varying levels of 3D grass that you can include with this airport. It's as simple as customizing the hangar. Basically, you simply drag and drop the amount of grass that you would like to see. Now, I actually have mine set low because when I first installed this, my frames per second dropped down to about 9. However, since I have 2 installs of X-Plane 11, I'm thinking the install that I was using may have been corrupted by Fly Inside for XP, which I was testing. It's my understanding that Fly Inside does tend to limit the amount of FPS capable in X-Plane so that it can do its thing with the VR. So I'm thinking that's what caused my serious FPS loss, because when I used my second version of X-Plane 11 with the grass and everything was fine. I was back up to my usual 45 frames per second. And by the way, we're back over here by Hangar 58 because I also want to mention, depending on the size of your aircraft, there are actually multiple parking spots that you can choose when you spawn in. We're at the far side of the airport over by this orchard so that I can show you about the trees. Now, even though the current install that I have of this airport has static trees and power lines, both the trees and the power lines can be modified so that they sway in the breeze. And when I say sway in the breeze, I'm not kidding. They do have a direct reaction to the amount of wind and the wind direction that's blowing currently in X-Plane 11. It's not that often that I see stuff like that done, but the way that they implemented it was actually quite well. But as I stated before, since I copied over this version of the airport to my second version of X-Plane 11, I had already customized this airport by taking out the swaying trees, the animated trees and power lines. So unfortunately, in this particular video, you won't see the movement of the trees and power lines, but trust me, it is worth it. As a matter of fact, I think Catstrator was able to put up a video of himself flying out of this airport where you can see the trees swaying, so you may want to check out his channel. Alright, as for us, let's go south towards the marina. Okay, so we didn't quite make it to the marina just yet. I actually came back because I noticed that it said Half Moon Bay on the runway, and that's like such a novelty for me. It's not that often that we see stuff like that, so I had to come back and take a second look. Alright, but now on the right-hand side, this is the mobile home park that I was talking about earlier. This is Pillar Ridge Community. Technically the term is modular homes, but everybody calls it a trailer park. It doesn't look like one of those trashy trailer parks, however. It actually looks pretty decent, so I gotta give them kudos on including something like that. At least you have a place where, you know, like your mechanic would live, or your server or something like that. Not stereotyping everybody to live in those places. I have lived in a trailer myself, and actually it wasn't that bad, but that's just me. Okay, now I should also mention that I am currently using W2XP for my AutoGen. So W2XP America is a freeware that you can get from SimHeaven, and what it does is it changes a lot of the AutoGen buildings that are populated in the United States, as well as around the world if you happen to get the other packs for other areas of the world. Now, I should also add that what I am doing right here is technically a no-no. There is a sign at the end of runway 30 that tells you there are noise abatement procedures. They would frown on this. So we finally made it past the marina, which I might remind you is called Pillar Point Harbor, and it's just past the Pacifico Hotel, or at least that's what it's labeled, is the Pacifico Hotel. However, in my research of this real-life Half Moon Bay location, I discovered that the hotel's name is actually the Oceana Hotel and Spa, but we won't hold that against Rising Dawn Studios. However, one area that they definitely got right is Pillar Point Air Force Station. Now, we're not supposed to overfly this Air Force Station, at least in real life. This, of course, being X-Plane, we can probably get away with it, but just to kind of keep it in check, I'm going to fly around Pillar Point Air Force Station. This station is used to basically monitor for ballistic missiles on a trajectory to the United States. So it's kind of like our early warning system for the West Coast. If any nuclear missiles were flying over the Pacific, we would get plenty of advance notifications so that defensive measures can be taken to perhaps knock them out of the sky. So there you go. You can sleep soundly at night knowing that the United States Air Force is on the case and will let us know if nuclear missiles are coming to destroy the United States. There you go. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so we're going back this way towards the marina. Off to my left, we are going to be passing the industrial district known as Princeton Industrial and Commercial District. One of the claims to fame for this little area is the fact that it's got a whole bunch of automotive and boat dealerships. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you live in Half Moon Bay, you gotta have a boat, right? And, of course, you can park said boat here at Pillar Point Harbor, right in front of the beautiful Oceana Hotel and Spa. I did check the prices of this hotel, and it's kind of steep, but not nearly as steep as the Ritz-Carlton, which is off to my right, a little bit further south from Half Moon Bay. Alright, so let's head inland a little bit here. I'm going to try and avoid the neighborhood. I'm trying to be a good boy here. And you know what? Let's see if we can veer off to the right a little bit and explore some more of Half Moon Bay. Now, bear in mind, again, this area that I'm flying over right now is part of W2XP. It is not a part of the original scenery. However, if we were to keep going over this hill, we're going to find San Francisco Airport is literally right over this hill, not even 10 miles away. So it's so close to the big bustling city. However, it's so secluded and remote just behind this hill. Now, the other thing that I really love about this scenery is the fact that it comes with its own orthophoto tiles for this area, which means you don't have to make any orthophoto tiles with Ortho for XP. It's included. That's brilliant! Absolutely freaking brilliant. Needless to say, the road network is also accurate and meshes perfectly with W2XP. As we make our way north over the residential area and disobeying all the noise abatement procedures, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the real Half Moon Bay area. It was originally settled as an agricultural area for the raising of cattle and horses, but eventually more and more ethnicities started moving into the area around the tail end of the 1800s with the advent of the railroad. Ironically, the railroad closed in 1920, but people remained. Throughout the early 1900s, the area had slow but steady growth, and really it wasn't until World War II that this area really started to boom, and that was with the building of Half Moon Bay Airport in 1942. The airport was constructed by the California State Highway Department originally as an airfield to serve as an auxiliary airfield to Salinas Army Air Base, which is further to the south of this location. At the close of World War II, the airport was deeded to San Mateo County, who continues to be the owner and operator of the airport today. Now, Half Moon Bay became a city in 1959, and since that point in time, this airport has seen a lot of use, both as a commercial aviation hub for things like cargo and whatnot, as well as a popular destination for tourists who utilize it as an air taxi destination. Not only that, but the military still retains a decent presence here, not only with the telemetry station down the street there, but also the United States Coast Guard uses this area as a base for search and rescue operations. Law enforcement also house several aircraft here, whether it be helicopters or actual airplanes. And in addition to which, Homeland Security has been known to use it as a regular stop on their patrols. Now, lest you think this airport is all business and no pleasure, every year around April, this airport hosts an event called Pacific Coast Dream Machines, which is basically a combination of auto show as well as air show, all on the airport premises. Now, one of the key players for this particular air show has been a gentleman by the name of Eddie Andrani Sr. Now, Mr. Andrani did die back in 2014 at the age of 77 doing an air show. However, in his honor, they decided to rename this airport on December the 8th, 2015 to Eddie Andrani Sr. Airfield. This was done because Mr. Andrani originally learned to fly in 1953 right here at this airport and had been a pillar of the aviation community of San Mateo County for many, many years, and is often credited with part of the reason why that air show every year was deemed a success. Now, as we bring our helicopter down, you'll notice there's a little bit of noise going on. That is XP Realistic Pro that I'm currently using, and it's the ground effect noise that is a part of that little add-on there. But right here, I think is going to be a good enough spot. I should be able to pull the card out and bring our helo back home. But of course, first, I've got to turn everything off. So while we go ahead and do that, I want to tell you all thank you for watching. You have been seeing my review, my official review of Half Moon Bay by Rising Dawn Studios and distributed through the xplain.org website as well as Future Game Shop. If you plan on purchasing this airport, The xplain.org site has it available at $19.90, and Future Game Shop has it available at £15.43. And I also want to thank Future Game Shop as well as Rising Dawn Studios for the review copy of this airport. Huge thanks go out to Helisimmer.com for allowing me to start a new video series out of this, and for the written reviews that you can find on www.helisimmer.com. Alright folks, that will do it for me. This has been BelGeode. I have been on the first leg of the Purple Hat Tours. If you enjoy what you've seen, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll catch you soon. Ciao!